decision of where to expand early. Of course, Zerg is all about getting as much production as possible, trying to out-expand your opponents. It's not necessarily as true in Legacy of the Void, because Zerg has a lot of powerful units like Lurkers that can be just as cost-efficient as a Protoss or Terran army when you're on even bases. It's not the same as Heart of the Swarm or Wings of Liberty, where Zerg is almost always less efficient than Protoss or Terran. So you can build yourself a cost-efficient army and kind of work around that. But the basics are, especially in ZVP, I'm going to send my first Overlord out in order to get an idea. Well, it's going to be out towards his base in order to see, like, at the corner of his base, where that way I can send it in later on. My second Overlord, which I'm making pretty early, 13 or 14 supply, I'm going to send to the right-hand side so I can do the same thing. We can send it in, we can get some information at the front. Past this, I'm going to be going for an expansion on about 17 supply. Almost every matchup starts out with a hatch first now. ZVZ, it's a little bit risky, but in ZVP, very few Protoss players, well, this Protoss player in particular actually looks like he's going to do something a little bit cheeky. If you see a probe that early, then maybe you invest in a, yeah, he's blocking my base. Just getting the pool first is going to be probably my best option. It's not too big a deal, especially if he's investing 100 minerals in the first minute of the game and blocking my base. Yeah, he's doing the double block. So right here, I don't need to worry too much about it. Nothing crazy at all. Like, he has just spent 200 minerals on pylons that are going to die. I don't need to worry about this. I can get my gas and start going for speed. My objective is going to be to get Zergling speed and at least one expansion early on. And then figure out, is he expanding? What tech is he going for? But now he's already effectively given away 2 pylons, which he will have to replace at his base, as I'm going to bank up 3 sets of larvae to get 3 sets of Zerglings out in order to kill these pylons and then go across the map and see if he's going to follow up with some sort of one base to exploit the fact I don't have very much production. But this is actually good for me that he's invested so much in these pylons early on that are going to give him little to no benefit. I'm not worried at all. This doesn't really screw up my build so much as it screws up his. Obviously, I'm expanding later, but at the cost of him having to replace a huge amount of his early minerals. So we're going to expand to the back first, and then I can probably expand to the front, but I'm going to send a couple Zerglings across to get an idea of what he's doing first. I've got 1 queen. I'm going to produce another queen. This queen's just going to be used for creep spread, especially since I don't have expansions early on. Creep spread, especially in Legacy of the Void, it spreads faster. Creep spread is going to be very important to kind of make up for the lack of having the hatcheries early on. I can connect my bases, I can move my queens around. I'm going to be making a couple extra queens in order to just have basic early defense. As Zerg, if you don't know what you're up against, you can just get a few extra queens early on. It doesn't really matter. But just getting a few extra queens early on is almost never a bad idea. Okay, we see here he's chrono boosting out Warp Gate. He's adding on gateways. He has +1. Let's get a Roach Warren. He also doesn't have an expansion. This is very important. But I'm going to be getting a Roach Warren here because he's just going to go for a lot of upgraded Zealots, it looks like. He could potentially have some tech on the field, but it looks like all of his gas has been used to go for this attack. So right now, all I need to do is sit back. I'm going to have these 2 bases. I've got more production and more economy than him. And as soon as this Roach Warren finishes, we're going to go ahead and just slam out some Roaches and eventually probably get Ravagers. Roach Ravager is one of the most cost-effective compositions against straight gateway units. If they don't have Blink or any Twilight Council upgrades, or he's only on 1 base, the Ravagers make it really difficult to go up a ramp. And also they help to break Force Field. If he tries to do some sort of cheeky sentry play, you can just break the Force Field with the Ravager shots as well. So having 1 or 2 is never going to hurt. I'm in position here with the Overlord to see if he's going to take an expansion, which is the most important information now. That'll tell me, is he going to break off the attack, or is he going to continue? Because he's going to be very limited in his options if he doesn't expand. Remember, you mine out around 7:30 to 8 minutes. You start mining out in Legacy of the Void. You have some lower mineral patches, like you see here, these mineral patches only have 300, 400 minerals left. There's only a couple minutes from mining out. So he only has a very limited time with enough income to support all his gateways. And if he doesn't expand, then I know all I have to do is defend. So I'm adding a few extra drones on. I'm going to get at least 1 Ravager here. But we've just got a Spine Crawler. I'm actually going to get a Spore Crawler as well, just in case of DTs. which is a very unlikely situation, but I'm already feeling so comfortable. Like, I'm continuing to spread this creep out. It's just something else to do. And now we see that the attack is going to be coming in from this angle. But there is no reason to do anything but make units for the most part. Once you have 25, 30 drones on minerals and then some extras on gas. Right now we're looking at actually 21. I should probably get a couple more drones here, but I'm sitting at the top of the ramp. I should worry about getting supply block, but there is no reason to do anything but sit here and produce roaches and potentially ravagers and not get supply blocked, of course. I know I might lose a creep tumor or something, but having this extra vision is really helpful. As you can see, he's about to come up the ramp, but I've already had so much production for so long. Just this basic gateway attack I scouted very early on is very ill-fated. Let's put it that way. We can take a shot with the Ravager, but he already sees. He already saw with the Mothership Core this was going to fail. I didn't do anything crazy at all. Just getting the road. If you see he doesn't have an expansion, or if you straight up see the warp gates themselves, I got lucky and got up the ramp to see the warp gates. But I also saw he was chrono boosting his warp gate, which combined with no expansion means he's probably going to put on some gateway pressure. So just having Roach Ravager at the top of the ramp, there was no way he was breaking up that ramp. I had the units out in time with minutes to almost to spare. And I knew he was committed to that attack. Just basic Roach Ravager, sit on the top of the ramp, make sure you have like 25 drones, which is still more than he has in probes. And there's no problem there. Alright. Now, as you can see, I had about 100 APM there. Zerg has a little bit more APM than the other races, but he was rocking out at 75, but obviously I was using mine better. I shouldn't have been supply blocked at all. That was a little bit of a mistake, but you can go to the build order as well. Say you lost to that attack. In the score screen, you can just go to the build order and see, oh, okay, he had 2 gateways and +1 with no nexus in the first 5 minutes. I know why I died. I had 3 hatcheries, which is obviously something you don't want to do. But just basic roach production. Nothing crazy there at all. And being able to counter gateway units with Roach Ravager is pretty easy. So make sure to like, subscribe, YouTube stuff, all of that. Check out the other guides as well. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the other side. Alright. We're gonna look for a ZVT and a ZVZ. We still gotta do the TVT guide, but I'm struggling to find any Terran players anyways, so.
Hi everyone, this is Charlotte Haining.
And this is Trivecta.
I have been absolutely blown away by the response to this next track. Thank you all so much.
And I hope you
All right.
enjoy this special edition.
Remember, these are bronze